I love the way it fades out too, because I've never heard, I can't think of a single other song that's faded out this way.
And you're a man who's not a fan. Well, is very specific about his fade outs.
I'm very astute when it comes to fade out. If you fade out too quickly, you sound like a bitch. You can't fade out too quickly. Never fade out too quickly. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, whether we like it or not. That's a whole discography per episode. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined as always by my very happy co-host Alexander Volt. Say hello.
One last time, and it'll make sense later. Fuck Boston.
I think it's a beautiful city. And today we'll be discussing every album by
Daniel Striped Tiger.
Daniel Striped Tiger. This is requested on Patreon by Grayson. So thank you so much, Grayson, for supporting us and helping us and throwing your money at us and in suggesting this band. We're not accepting any more requests on Patreon for the time being because Alex is leaving the show at the end of the year. If you don't know why, check out a King Crimson episode, part 1, King Crimson. But until then, we're fulfilling all our requests. And this is requested by Grayson. I have never heard of this band before now. Have you?
I have never heard of this band. Going off their name, I thought we were in for some indie alternative rock shenanigans, but that was not happy to report that's not the case.
I thought the exact same thing. I saw the name and I thought, oh, here we go. Another one of these types of bands. I'm always interested in hearing things I've never heard before, but a lot of those bands I feel like I've heard before. So when I hit play on the first album of this, I was like,
yeah, it took me back a little bit. It did remind me of despite not hearing this band, I definitely heard bands like this in the 2000s to 2010s. This kind of felt like its own like subgenre of noise and math rock.
Yeah. What are the bands you compare them to? Because I kept drawing a blank, even though I feel like I've heard a lot.
I don't even have like a good 1-to-1 ratio, and I always talk about The Smell, but this is like a band that I feel like would play The Smell. Yeah, I can't even think of like. It's early and my head hurts. I didn't come prepared for this.
Alex is already checked out.
I apologize.
I was thinking. I mean, the Dawn Cab came up for me a little bit. Call Me Lightning came up for me a little bit.
Okay, those are good. Yeah.
What other stuff?
I guess like
mathy, noisy, punky. But very post-hardcore.
Yeah, it's not even a good comparison. But there was this band, Fall of Troy. They were a little more proggy, but very much that like playing these math rock riffs as fast as they can, and it's a little sloppy, but
this band, so I was delighted to hear that they weren't generic indie or something like that, and I was also pleased because out of all, we're recovering everything that they did pretty much, so it's 3 albums and 1 compilation that is almost double the length of the albums, and I would say nary a single bad song. I don't think like there's like one. I think there's one song that I don't care for across the entire discography. This is just a band for me.
Yeah, it's one of those bands where I don't think any album is bad, but we're dum-dums, so I'm gonna say an album is bad, but I don't actually.
No, we're not saying it's bad. We're not saying it's bad. We're saying it's the worst. That just doesn't mean it's because clearly one of has to be the worst. If we're like just in life, that doesn't mean it's bad. It means it's the worst of the bunch. We're not dum-dums. We're smart.
But also I feel like but before we get into this, because we've done it for some other artists that passed away, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. Gotta talk about
what's the elephant in the room?
Brent Hinds passing away.
Yeah.
I gotta do it.
I know. Brent Hinds of Macedon, dude. You sent me that.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it.
It's like it's so believable, but then you see how it happened. It's like, oh, it's unbelievable again.
Yeah, I think most people thought he's kind of a screw up that it was going to be like drug or alcohol related.
We all thought it was going to be drug or alcohol related. And
this is just a horrible traffic accident, and he was not at fault for. And
he wasn't at fault for it. That's the craziest thing. He got like mainlined by an SUV.
It's always a fucking
on
BMW. It's always a BMW.
It's always a BMW. Yeah.
Yeah. This fucking surreal. I hate that, you know, him and the boys never got to, you know, bury the hatchet. Like, it was so fresh too. Like, he
just left or was just kicked out.
Yeah, it's so fresh, and then to have this happen makes it ultra devastating. One of my favorite bands, and I don't even think it's like a competition. Like, him and Bill are the like greatest metal guitar players of the past 20 years.
Incredible. So original. So original. Especially his style of solo is just on. Dude, it's so characteristic. It's so impressive technically. He was the fucking greatest.
If for some reason listeners have never listened to Megalodon, it's this surreal, like, aquatic metal song, and this guy decides to throw in this like little quick country twank.
Chicken picking. Yeah,
and it
chicken picking.
Fucking,
that's where I learned it from Brent.
Yeah, it works. And I learned about so many like cool artists through Mastodon, and like I can say I listen to better, cooler music because of people like Brent. And yeah, no one's saying the guy's an angel. I don't think anyone would say that, but I think
definitely not.
There's a million worse people in music, and you know, not that that's like, oh well, see, I can act like an asshole because someone's worse, but just heavy fucking depressing shit, and I can't believe it. I don't know. I thought for sure I would, you know, live to see like Brent and Mastodon reunited one day, but.
Jeez, yeah, his style of soloing and little riffs, the chicken picking stuff, that it was so. It ended up being super influential to me when I would, especially when I was playing in like a more math rock style band. When I would come up with riffs and stuff, where I would come up with chicken picking stuff, not realizing like, oh, that's just super Mastodon-y. Like it just bleeds in there because it's so interesting. It's so fun. I don't know. It made it's one of the things that made Mastodon so original and really unusual. Especially Leviathan is a very unusual metal album. Yeah, it's a very weird metal album. It's very good, of course, but it's not quite as accessible because it's the riffs are just so fucking wacky and out there and ugly. And then you hear all this weird, you know, Southern stuff in there, but it doesn't feel like a Southern guitarist. It just feels like this weird take on metal. It's a damn, he was so fucking good. Funny too. What a funny dude. I mean, of course he was a raging alcoholic and drug addict, but man, he was a fun guy. Like, funny dude.
I think I'll probably try to rewatch the DVD this weekend. I think I let you borrow the Workhorse Chronicles, and you see them.
I think I watched it at your house.
And you just see them like screwing around, and yeah, he's just this hilarious, like sad, really.
R.I.P. to one of the greats, one of the absolute greats.
It don't even have to think about it. Like, yeah, I'm so blessed to have seen him perform multiple times.
Me too. You've seen him like fucking 40 times. I've seen him like 3 or 4. I don't remember.
Them and the Melvins and Mars Volta are the band I've seen the most, and yeah, I don't know. I might cry if I go watch Mastodon again. I'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you got to though.
Yeah, you got to. You fucking got to.
Man. Well,
So
that's
yeah,
sad. No,
there's no way I was not going to talk about that though.
No.
And you know, we talked about Ozzy, and I think someone else passed away that we talked
Hulk Hogan, yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. Oh, brother.
But might as well start moving on to some of this, some nice tunes here, because this band is very, very good.
Brent would love these riffs.
Yes, they're man. So you can make the argument that they don't change that much. I would make the opposite argument, because I think they change quite a bit within the same boundaries of what, I mean, this crazy mathy post-hardcore stuff. But I found it to be a pretty, because you know, when you're a nerd about it, John, you could find all the little nuances that change. So when I hear the earliest stuff here, I think that's cool, that's fun. There's a lot of things I don't really love about that. I don't really like this. It doesn't hurt my experience. I still think it's great records, but that's not my favorite thing in the world. And then as they grow, you hear like all the things that I had a problem with are gone, and they're replaced by stuff that's even more amazing. So I think they have a great little timeline there. Yeah, really. These are the breeziest albums to sit through. 2 of them are under 30 minutes, like 20 something minutes. And yeah, and they're so super consistent. They're paced super, like this is just they just nailed it. Like it's crazy. It's weird hearing a band that they were just good the whole way through. There's not one dip in quality. The thing that I'm giving worse for a very specific reason, but I still enjoy the hell of it. I'm still keeping it in my library. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah. I feel like I have like whiplash from the amount of riffs I've experienced in this band, despite their main albums all being around 30 minutes, delightful 30 minutes. And yeah, they do these like interesting things that I've never heard a band like this do, where like, I don't know if you noticed it, where like they kind of bring in elements of like 70s hard rock on some songs. And you don't like, it's not super obvious, but I'm like, if you kind of like slowed this down and played it normally, like, so I really appreciated that like weird ass, like that. Well, for a band like this, kind of bringing in like some more normal elements, and
it does get normal, quote unquote. Yeah. Where it has like this bluesiness to it a little bit, not in the traditional sense, but in the riffage. And it's a nice little, I find them to be good palate cleansers usually when they come on, because you get a few different modes. You get the really ugly, crazy, abrasive stuff, and then you get the hard rock on speed stuff, and then you get the more edgy, dark stuff. And the way some of these albums are paced, it's like, oh man, that feels good. It's well rounded. With one thing that I really came away appreciating the hell out of is when you get bands with super short records, plenty of punk albums, the fallback is that we can go full speed and do play the whole record at 11, because it's super short. It's 20 minutes, it's 25 minutes. It's over immediately. We can go full speed the whole time. Yes, you can. Technically you can, but is that going to be the best record? Even if it's short, it works for albums like Rain and Blood, but it's also, even that one's kind of paced pretty well. For like a lot of punk albums, it's just and then it's over. This, it's like they can do that. They don't do that. They still pace it. They still methodically put things. They have interludes, good interludes on a fucking 20-minute album, an interlude, but it serves a real purpose for pacing. It's like these are smart, really intelligently constructed albums, even though they're very, very short.
I agree with the interludes. They're perfect little palate cleansers. They serve their purpose.
So we have some notes here from our boy Tom Osman, who digs up some dirt and finds history for us. We have right here an interview from, I believe it's 2008. Yes, with Shoot Me Again, with the whole band. It's a little bit. It's an odd interview because it's. I believe it was done online, and it was they sent out like the same questions to all the members, so we get a lot of the same answers. So I'm only going to read like one response instead of like all the members' responses for each question. But core members, the main for all the albums is Jason St. Clair or Jay St. Clair on vocals and guitar, Sean Yeaton on vocals and guitar, John Bogan on vocals and bass, and Daniel Madden on drums. They originally had another drummer named Steve for like one tour before they even recorded the first record. But he was quickly replaced by Dan. And I don't even have a last name for Steve. Steve is just Steve, apparently.
Fucking Steve.
God damn it, Steve. So, according to Jay, how the band started, he says, basically the band was started as something to do after school during our senior year of high school. We'd all met through being in other bands, which had members who went away to college. So we decided to start something of our own together. It was an excuse to hang out, have fun, and write music together. So wholesome high school band. It has the energy of that kind of thing, that's for sure.
Wholesome high school band, wholesome name, not wholesome music.
Name. Not it's I would say it's not unwholesome music. I don't even know what wholesome music is. If you tell me it's just pretty things, and then that's kind of fucking boring. You don't want to.
Sure.
You can be wholesome and aggressive. Listen to POD, for example. It's a joke, by the way.
Okay.
POD, Creed, some hard rocking music.
Yeah, I guess a normal or someone with good taste would say Bad Brains. Some of that PMA.
Bad Brains in a way.
Some of that PMA. For those of you who don't know, Daniel Striped Tiger is the tiger puppet on Mr. Rogers.
It is indeed what it is. I didn't know that until I saw the quote. There's plenty. I mean, they all say it right here, but Jay says, in terms of where the name came from and why they landed on that one, he says, we were booked to play our first show in 1 week and we still had not decided on a name for our band. It's a recurring thing that happened with Thinking Fellers. They just, what the fuck do we got? He says, a friend of ours had suggested Daniel Striped Tiger, and half joking, we decided to keep it. Daniel Striped Tiger is a character, a puppet on Mr. Rogers. It is meant to represent youth and imagination. And that's kind of the thing they all felt about it, where it kind of holds on to this really wholesome youthfulness of the band, and that's what they'd like to keep associated with it somehow.
And in a way, it's a perfect name.
Yeah, aside from the fact that it made us think the band was a boring indie band.
It's the way it's worded. I'm like, do you mean Daniel the Striped Tiger?
It's probably Daniel the Striped type. Because Daniel Striped Tiger doesn't really make sense.
I looked it up. No, it is on Mr. Rogers. It is Daniel Striped Tiger. I don't know
really
why it's worded like that.
That is a weird wording. Daniel Striped Tiger.
When I say it more, it sounds fine actually, but like reading it, I'm like, you left a word out.
It does feel like you left a word out.
I feel like some bands where they ebb between like pretty and aggressive. I feel like some bands, it's like they're more favored in one than the other. This band does both really well.
Yeah.
I like the aggressive parts as much as the dark melancholy, and I'm never like, I'm like, oh, it's that section, so I'm can wait for the section I want. I just am there for the entire ride.
I agree for sure. It's well rounded. It feels good, and also I forgot. Yeah, this band is considered emo or emo core.
Bullshit.
Fucking bullshit. I mean, complete. This is way more post-hardcore than, and like even though we love early emo, not just like the early Embrace, Right to Spring, but also like the Sunny Day Real Estate type stuff. That's all great stuff. This doesn't sound like that.
No,
this does not sound. It's way heavier. It's way heavier, and the vocals don't even come remotely close to. Like I don't know how this is considered. Even what was it? Was it gospel?
Yeah.
That great fucking like. That's even that makes a little more sense. Calling that screen like that makes more sense than this.
There were times where they made me think of like an ultra sped up at the drive-in, and that's like another band where they got lumped in there, and I'm like, no,
yeah, doesn't make any sense. Not to our ears anyway. But so yeah, we'll be covering everything. I can't find any information on the compilation and where it's what's on which. I'm sure it's there somewhere. But I found it. I was on a bad Discogs page. I found a good Discogs page.
Nice.
So it's a very easy discography, but it's also very confusing once we get to the compilation, because the first record came out, first album came out 2005, last one 2011. The comp came out in 2009, and that one has stuff from 2004 all the way to 2010. So it has all the mishmash, like little EPs, comp tracks, or split tracks or whatever. It has all the stuff stuffed in there, and it's a very lengthy comp. So the main 3 albums, 2005, 2011, 2005 to 2011. So we might as well jump in. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Hell yes. This is 2005's Condition.
Already, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. This band is not going to be something else. So mathy already. God damn, it feels great though.
It does. Yeah, like equal parts noise and funk, and
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, it's like 75% math, 25 punk. It's just like an even split.
Yeah. And this section,
So
I mean, it's such simple,
Yeah.
but it's fucking fun as hell, man. Little sloppiness there, which is quite charming.
wasn't
Got a horn.
expecting that.
Nope. And it's not like this. That's also not. It's not exactly a one-off, but they're not a band that often brings in like crazy instruments.
No.
That's just like it's just every once in a while you'll hear a little taste, something like that. Okay, so the song is already almost
Over. But it does pick up again and then
Yeah,
quickly jumps into the next one.
yeah, you do get like a big chunky rock part in there too, and
Yeah. So this is delightful. I was oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, killer album. I mean, it's short. It's one of the longer ones at like 30 minutes. So
yeah, and then like Good Luck and Surgery, that like that's how you do soundscapes or interludes. It's nice, serves its purpose.
oh yeah. So that's we get a taste of their style of interlude very, very quickly in the discography. Man, it's like it was this reverse lo-fi recording over a really nice bass line. It's really atmospheric. Usually they're often very atmospheric, very melancholy sounding, and brief, yes, but they always have this melody to it. It's never just a boring little filler thing. It's never just noise or atmosphere, like blank atmosphere. It's always a thing that's like, oh, that feels good too. They do. They're killer interludes. It's a weird thing to be good at, but like, oh yeah, it really does move the album along.
Yeah. And then I was completely sold by the end of Your Birthday Cake, where it's like these slow guitar riffs and the drum set sounds like it's falling downstairs. And then it like turns into this like ultra fast, like dance punk thing. Like, just like, I was like, okay, I am really excited to hear this band now.
Yeah, because while they often are very fast, they don't just they don't like you were saying, they have an even split of everything. They don't just lean on the fast. They have equal parts slow, punishing, not sludgy slow, but just hard hitting, kind of headbangy slow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Your Birthday Cake does.
And yeah, like, and then we get to jump ahead a little, the untuned piano in the assembly hall, like,
so goddamn good, man.
yeah, that's where we start getting some like things where it's like, oh, this is more like a Godspeed song.
Yeah. They also do post-rock minimalism. They also do that, and they also do that well.
Yes.
It's so cool. It's much darker. It has these little dissonant guitar leads with really nice guitar ambience over a click and a bass. And when the full band comes in, I mean, it just absolutely rips. Another band, it reminds me of Ferocious and Medications, and that kind of post-hardcore. little bit more put together and chaotic than them. They were a little bit earlier in the 90s, but yeah, like it's just my shit. I hear it untuned piano in the assembly hall. I'm like, yes, this is my band.
Nice.
Yeah, easily.
Little things we've collected smartly, like a high energy one. Kind of reminds me, it's like Unhinged Modest Mouth. Or
Mouse?
I can't
Modest
fucking
mouth.
talk.
I have a very modest mouth myself, honestly.
I can't talk today. Forgive me.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. No.
Modest. Yeah, it's like very like Unhinged, Modest Mouse, this crazy shit, and then this like I'll hear like a riff here and there where again I'm like, oh, that could be like a 70s hard rock riff. Like they're crazy.
Yeah, they have those big giant riff sections, but they also have, and this goes across the board, very Don Cab style guitar interplay where they're very jangly, two very jangly guitars going against each other, and I don't know, it just has this. It's like it sounds. I don't want to say it's okay. I want to say it sounds easy, as in the sense not easy to play, because those are very interesting guitar lines. Easy in the sense that you'll write your own weird melody and I'll write my weird melody and they'll play them at the same time. In practice, that often doesn't work, even though it seems like it's pretty easy to pull off. I've done it millions of times where I'll write this cool little complicated thing. I'll write another one on top of it, and it becomes overwhelming. To have it in a way where it's not overwhelming is actually it's an actual, you got to finesse it.
For sure. I think the way stupid people are nostalgia for like Limp Bizkit and Blink-182, like you and I are nostalgic for this like very weird specific genre of weird rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm Polish hardcore it's a whole thing, and like, man, I have such a fondness for so much of it. Although I do acknowledge and appreciate that a lot of it is very samey, just like any other genre. I'm probably pretty biased. Even now listening to this band, I'm probably biased with this band. Just like it just does a thing that resonates with me really well. But things, even then, they have so much variety in their songwriting, in their presentation, in the pacing. Like you can be as you can find someone's specific weak spot with a genre and be like, all right, I'll play exactly the music you like. But even then, you can make a boring fucking album if you don't pace it correctly, or if you just write a bunch of the same style songs. Like this album is probably the least diverse out of everything that we get, at least considering the main albums for sure, because it's mostly, aside from, because even then it has stuff like Untuned Piano where it gets dark and post-rocky, but for across the board, it's more aggressive, it's more mean than the other albums. It's not quite as dark or emotionally. Yeah. So it's a little bit, you could tell it's early for them anyway.
I've also heard a lot of bands try to do this and they can't play. It actually sounds like a band like falling down the stairs. Like you need timing to do this, and it can be like a little off. It can be like, it doesn't have to be the most polished thing, but man, if you're off, it's not good.
No, drumming bare minimum has to be on point and perfect.
Agreed.
Well, close to perfect. Yeah. You lose drumming, you lose everything else. And I've seen it firsthand where I would know a group of friends and like, oh, they're all fine musicians. They can all do it. And then, but the one guy was the drummer who couldn't play the band without even, there's no wiggle room. The band just sucked. The band was like, that's a band that sucks. There's no kind of weaseling your way out of it if the drummer is bad. It's pretty wild. It's a lot of pressure.
You know, it's funny. You saying that made me think of a couple friends that were in a band, and the band probably wasn't very good, but because my friend, the drummer, was good, I think that's how they got by.
I told this, I think it's on the most recent Patreon bonus episode that I did solo. I told the story because I was talking about the album Twisted into Form by Forbidden, which is a thrash band. It's one of my favorite thrash albums, and it was just, it was, I don't want to be repeating too much, but it was a funny story because it was a friend's band, and it was my ex's. My ex was in the band. She was a bass player, and they were all fine, except the drummer was this really charismatic, really fun, really talented dude who played a bunch of instruments. Drumming wasn't even his main instrument, but he was really good at drums. He was just really talented overall, and everyone loved this band. And I was the only one who was like, they're not that good. He's just the only good drummer that we know.
Oh wow.
Like,
yeah.
And hearing like he really and he wasn't just he didn't just have chops. He was creative. He was the only guy throwing in different little spots and different rhythms. It's like, you're really being fooled. These riffs stink. He's really the one thing. And it culminated where they got they got a gig opening for Forbidden when they reunited, and everybody was jealous. I was super jealous. Like, oh man, that's a fucking. Even though Forbidden sounded like absolute dog shit when they performed. It's the funniest thing ever, but still. And the time comes for the show, and who doesn't show up? The drummer, the guy who got them the show, the guy who was the only talented member of the whole band, he doesn't show up. And it was the singer had to play drums, who couldn't play drums at all. They played one song, and that was it. And it was a complete disaster.
Oh man, that's like, rough.
It's insane. Like how the shittiness of that, like to him to just bail completely for almost no reason. I don't even know. I still don't know to this day why he bailed.
Yeah. Damn, that's a crazy
that's the importance of a drummer. Yeah, it really does save everything.
I think the closer is like by far their most epic song on this album, at least. And then another sign where I was like, man, this band rules. Like, I realized 5 minutes, 6 minutes, well, in this podcast really isn't long. But they're also, this band's doing like 2 minute long songs. So like in comparison, and yeah, these like 5 minute songs still fly by. I'm like, wait, I swear that was 2 minutes long.
They fly by. I mean, yeah, Beeves and Elthake, whatever the fuck. Beeves and Elthake, Born Into This. That's the title. That's the closer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the song officially ends around 5:40, but man, it really because they do it on that song, they do it on a few other more epic songs where they'll just go into this really, really repetitive thing over and over again, and usually it's like, oh yeah, that feels really. I mean, it feels really good. Following a bunch of songs that jump all over the place over the course of 2 minutes, so you end up being like really grateful to hear this one riff played for like 2 minutes straight.
Yeah, the hypnotic part is this. I mean, yeah, I love Ohm or like Melvin's Lysol, so I love a good, and this isn't even like a fraction of what's going on there, but I appreciate it when they're like that. That feels good.
Definitely, yeah. They have some. I mean, it's just wonderful. They have some crazier stuff, some speedy chaos. That sounds like a hardcore punk Beefheart on Fire Broke the Windows.
Yep.
It goes all over the place. It is like their meanest record, their most aggressive. It's very energetic. And yeah, after this, really instant fan. Like, it's not anything we haven't heard, but they do have their own spin on it, and it is a very well constructed record.
I agree. And yeah, I almost wonder if I had wasn't around bands that sounded like this in my youth, like what my reaction would be. I like to think I would still like it, but I'm not going to lie. There is definitely some like nostalgia for like this era of music that, cause no one really plays like this anymore. It wasn't like hugely influential either. Like the way, like we saw like Deaf Heaven, like, everyone has like the Black Gaze band after that. You like saw the immediate impact, like the first 10 years of like the 2000s was just, I don't know. It just felt like people being fucking weird and trying to find their footing, at least in smaller rock scenes.
Yeah. I knew they didn't take off. They took off a little bit, but they didn't like blow up a whole lot. But there was like bands that I knew that were like friends of my brothers and like that I talked to in that same time period where it's like, yeah, they all kind of make sense. There were some that teetered more on the indie stroke side, but they were still noisy. Then it's like, that's a fun little mix of that. It's not really my thing. Like, I much prefer this thing where they go harder into the crazy.
I mean,
but
that first Yeah's album is like insane. There's really like off-putting shit on that album, and if Maps wasn't on there, I wonder like what kind of career they would have had.
I want one day I will give them a real chance. I'm not really interested in the but I will. One day
I'm just gonna send you a song that I think is like kind of noisy, and just the one song. Yeah, like
fair enough.
Yeah.
Because so far the only thing that I've enjoyed about them is that one Danger Mouse album with Karen O and her guesting on the Seer from Swans. That's pretty much the extent of my enjoyment of them.
I love some Karen O.
Yeah, but might as well move on. Although this album was mastered by Alan Douches. Alan Douches? Is it Alan? I think it's Alan Douches.
It can be.
It's spelled like douches. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Tom notes here, says, I wonder, does Alan Douches have a plethora of varied production credits? Let's see. Grandmaster Flash, Cro-Mags, The Misfits, Fleetwood Mac, Coal Chamber.
Crazy. Also
crazy.
Good for them for getting a good, like, yeah, this isn't like a friend or whatever. This is like a
real record,
quote unquote, real producer. Yeah.
Yeah. It was also recorded and mixed by Will Killingsworth, and he seems a little bit more on the underground side. Alan is more of a straight up pro, but time to move on. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hell yes. This is 2007's Capital Cities. So a little bit more atmosphere building this one up.
Yes.
Not coming in at 10 immediately. Like, it's already, I'm thinking, all right, that's a step in a different direction. Opening with something mellow. That's not what I was expecting.
So fucking
I love
good.
it. I love it. This is range. That's what yeah. You could have given us another, because this record is like 25 minutes. You could have given us more high speed craziness, but no, you're doing it right.
I do like how heavy the bass is with this very almost peaceful guitar.
Yeah. It's got good dirt on it. It's very warm. So that is essentially an intro or an intro track. It's a whole song, it's instrumental, but I'm gonna put a little bit of the follow up just to, a little bit of range. Here we go.
There was a letter left where I slept. And then nothing. Here lay my head to rest. Something was not adding up.
And this does feel more polished.
More left.
Yeah.
Who I was. It's unclear. All misdirected. And full of
Oh, love it.
fear of it.
Okay. So that is definitely a change.
Yeah. And it's my best personal favorite.
Best personal favorite,
Hell
baby.
yeah. Hell yeah.
The thing is, this is a band where I could have given it to another one, easily given it to another one. I could even give it to the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on where you're at. I gave it to this one because the way this, I mean, they're all paced well. They're all paced in their own way. This one has the most like extreme. Well, first of all, it's the biggest evolution jump. It has the big, heavy, slow songs. There's most of the, because there's only 7 tracks here. Most of them are pretty lengthy. It's just a different approach. It's the lengthier, chunkier, more epic songs on this one.
I agree. It speaks to me more, and yeah, it's one of the few albums where it ends and I'm like, why is that over? What do you mean it's over? I need more of this. So
this is one of the rare albums, and I didn't used to think they were that rare because I was so into punk for all my teenage years, but it's become incredibly rare that we hear an album that you want to immediately put on again and hear again. Like that has, for some reason, we've been doing this podcast for like 6 years, and I can actually think of very few times that's actually come up where I'm like, oh, I want to hear that immediately. This is like, oh yeah, you put this on immediately when you're done with it.
I agree.
Again.
I agree. The runtime definitely helps with that, but like I also wouldn't. I mean, who wants to mess with perfection? But like, yeah, I don't know if they wanted to add another 20 minutes to this. I think they're talented enough that they could have.
It probably could have, but the fact that it's this short feels so confident and feels ironically confident, because you would think that like, oh, I don't want to mess it up. We'll just keep it short. That seems like the opposite of confident, but it's like, no, these are the songs. We're going to play the shit out of these songs, and this is all you're getting. It feels very like, no, this is I like that. I like how short it is. I also like short albums, but
yes,
there was no moment where I felt like, and I can say this about a lot of records or most of these records, there wasn't a single moment where I thought, okay, I could see where they were kind of, that's the dip here. I could see where they were kind of losing steam there. It picks it up again, but there was no moment where there's even a little bit of lost steam.
Yes, that too. Yeah, there is no dip. There is no, I feel indifferent about that song. I just love, I don't want to say every second. That may be a little hyperbole, but for the most part, yeah, like
close to it.
Yeah.
Might as well be every second, because there aren't a lot of seconds on here.
That's true. Yeah.
As a whole, it's similar to the debut in like the chaos in a way, but and I guess in the same more overall subgenre, but there's a very noticeable evolution. It's much darker. It's less snarly. It's more serious, and it has way more post rock in it. And the fact, like, it's paced so well with like the way it brings everything down, and it gets super duper minimal, and then when it comes back, it's just so intense.
Because I think Flags in Capital Cities is a good example of that.
It's amazing. Absolutely. So it goes to this break around 250 where it has these marching band snares in there, and it's super duper slow, and it builds back up. Beautiful stuff.
And then, yeah, like that is just, I don't know, like you feel like you saw God listening to that song, or heard God, whatever. And then Smartly, Property Lust has more like caveman vibes, like the first album to it. So it's like, okay, like they know like what the listener needs on this album.
Exactly. It goes to Property Lust, which is all pissed off and chaotic and mathy, and then again, such great pacing choices. It leads right into Summit with what happens, a super pounding repetitive riff. It's like it knows what your brain needs after hearing one song. It's like, all right, you've been over. You got this big epic thing with a lot of range and a lot of space in it. All right, we're gonna give you this crazy chaotic thing with a million riffs. Okay, now we're gonna give you something heavy, but it's gonna be easier to grab onto. It's gonna be one riff played a million times. It's like it's so easy to just get lost in this, and it's over so quickly. It's like, yeah, this is so well rounded.
Yeah. And then like I love the guitar playing on Disconnected. I feel like
Disconnection,
like the guitars are like attacking your eardrums, and I mean that like in a positive way. And yeah, it's just this like weird blend. It's like they're a jammy noise punk band, which doesn't make any sense. But when you hear this, it does make sense. Like there are these sections where it's like, oh, that feels like they're like jamming. It doesn't feel like, oh, we wrote this part and it's going to be in the song. Like, much like how like Sonic Youth, a lot of their stuff came from jam sessions or thinking fellers. This year is the like weird jam band.
Crazy jam bands. Yeah, because it's definitely this is a band where like so much of the character and what the songs feel like, they sound like live. Like this feels very live. There's no like, if someone told me these albums were recorded track by track, I would be bent over in disbelief. Like there's so much about this the energetic unit of the dudes playing. Like so much of it comes from the noisiness, the almost being on, like they're very tight here for sure, but there's still this sloppiness where it's so chaotic that it feels like it's not on time, even though it's very tight. It's just such a band thing, where this could only be this could only sound this good, I think, live or recorded live. But the way they go super minimal and then they build it back up, like the closer, People You Don't Know, does it super well. Yeah. And the way it builds it back up, there's even like some subtle Godspeed violins in there. It's like, oh god damn, it just rules so hard.
Yeah, it starts off as this like beautiful, like almost like free floating song, and then it'll like briefly get noisy, and then at the end it just like closes with like an exclamation point.
Yes, it's beautifully bookended. Everything here is so fucking great. I love it. I mean, having this good, and also this is the only album with no interludes on it, because these are just big songs after big songs.
I do think like Summit kind of rides the fence between like an interlude and
you're right,
a proper song, but it's but I get what you're saying. Like like there's nothing like under a minute here.
Yeah, there's nothing obviously atmospheric or unless you count the big, not big, but the spacious post-rock sections, which is the closest thing that we get to that. And those feel so ingrained in the songs and feel so like appropriate. It's wonderful. This album is so goddamn good. But again, I could see why this wouldn't be someone's favorite compared to something else. I mean, there's other stuff that's worthy of that.
Yeah,
it just comes down to taste.
If you're more inclined to other things, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, probably people who are big on post-rock, this is probably going to be their favorite.
For sure.
Yeah. So both of our best and personal favorites, because goddamn it, you mean listen to this album. It's so good. As for some of the lyrics, apparently this is what they have to say about that. They all say it's funny. They all gave different responses, saying the same thing in different words, like for every question. So for lyrics, Sean said, I've always thought of the lyrics as a sort of random snapshot or line drawing. I like that because it leaves a lot for the audience to kind of make their own. It's too easy to say the songs are about people we've loved or things we firmly believe in. These things are true, but are also complex. A lot of times the lyrics shape themselves over time and mean something different every time we play the songs. As for their thoughts on this album, Jay said, Capital Cities was sort of a blur when I think about it. We would all go to school full time and work during the week. Then we would all meet for an hour or two each Sunday in my parents' house outside of Boston. Hence Alex's fuck Boston. After about 3 months of this routine, we recorded the music, which was intended to be a 10-inch. However, we went over the marker by a couple of minutes, making it a 12-inch. We have always been intrigued by bands who never really let up on a record and that can fill each inch of space down to the last second. There's something enjoyable about listening to a record that flows seamlessly from front to back. The interludes were sort of the glue that stuck everything together, making it one continuous piece.
There it is.
So intentional. Intentional to make it like, squeeze. It's got to squeeze every penny, every single second.
It's one thing to say that. It's another thing to actually pull it off.
Indeed. To pull it off is actually far more impressive and unexpected. John says, we view an LP as a canvas to place ideas onto. We never make a conscious decision to change how we sound, but we would never be satisfied if it sounded the same as our previous material or did not achieve anything new for our discography. I think that Capital Cities is just the newest logical step in our progression as individuals and as a group. But yeah, it rules. It rules, and you should check it out if you have even a passing interest in chaotic, post-hardcore, and post-rock. But time for the next one, the comp. Big ass comp. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This came out 2009. This is Certain Stuff.
Between four walls and windows, what's going on?
I think this is like one of their more like traditionally like post-hardcore songs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. On this comp, we get by far the most traditional post-hardcore songs of the whole discography.
And that's probably due to it being like this is stuff from earlier, yeah.
Easily. Those vocals are so DC post-hardcore and even hardcore.
This section though is not traditional, I don't think. This is cool.
This is very interesting. Very interesting. Great drums.
Yeah.
That little bell. It's such a nice little touch.
Because, yeah, he could just be doing like a standard snare roll, but he's doing this like unique beat.
Yeah. But man, those guitar lines with that bass, oh, beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh, that time signature, that little extra tail, it's great. It really makes a difference.
It does.
That little extra beat really makes a difference.
And because of the obvious reason, Worsley's favorite. And why, Alex? Why is this Worsley's favorite?
For me, I'm giving it Worsley's favorite because I love how uniform and concise the 3 albums are.
It is too long.
I don't even mind the length. I realize this is a bunch of different things. And I'm glad it's like available. I think the songs are very cool here. But yeah, like the 3 albums are just like not an inch of fat, and I think by its nature a compilation is going to feel a little fatty.
Easily that. And even then, it's still a very good comp. And I still enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, like they're still very like creative, unique songwriters here. It's not like some bands like Pantera where it's like totally different. Like there's still great stuff here.
It's far more post-hardcore. It's far more punk, really, than anything on the main albums. And they're all good. I mean, they're all good songs. I would say there's a few things I don't like that are present here that they shed by the first album. And the main one is the vocals.
Okay.
So they sounded good on that. They sound good on a lot of these songs. Once we get toward, I think is it the earlier stuff? I want to say, I think it's like the earlier stuff. You hear far more of the really screamy, slobbery 2000s, late 90s to 2000s punk stuff where they're just screaming, and I find it a little obnoxious. I'm just not into that style. It really reminds, even some of the riffage feels like more on the later era punk, 90s punk stuff that I've just never been super into. They play in a way that's super fun and super interesting and mathy and crazy and awesome, and it makes the songs, even though I don't like certain elements, I still enjoy the song. But those are like okay, I don't love I like how the vocals changed over time. I don't love the foundation of some of the riffs, but even then, still like the songs a lot.
Yes. What do we got going on here?
So much. There's so much. There's so many songs.
An errand to run. That's kind of what I was thinking about, like at the drive-in. Another one where it's like this is very rooted in post-hardcore, but these riffs are very technical, and you can tell how amazing everyone is on that.
How about that outro too?
Yeah, this
fuzzy atmospheric stuff that just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah. They do occasionally do like fuzzy bass, and I usually love it. I don't know if we skipped over it, but well, since we're on the Desert Burden, that is that's some good fuzzy bass on that song.
Oh yeah, that one. So you were talking at the very, very top about the hard rock stuff.
Yeah.
That one feels nice and southern.
Yeah, and then like 145, I'm like, this is like a Rage Against the Machine riff a little bit.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah. And then like Stop Where You Are, that's where I'm like, that's how 70s hard rock band should have sounded.
It's like a desert rock main riff. It's crazy.
Yeah. You get that. I think that comes out more in this compilation than like on the albums, because then another like standout song on here is Dawn Flared Into.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a? Because that's one of the live tracks, right?
Yes.
And they say on the live version, the live track's super unnecessary, by the way. But on the live version of it, they say it's a cover. I couldn't find any information about who they covered it from.
Interesting.
So I have no idea. But keep going.
I will say, like the final minute or so, it's like, yeah, this is a weird comparison, but it did make me think of like American Woman. Like they're kind of, but they're playing it in this weird, awesome, warped way. Like,
so you got American Woman from that one.
yeah.
You know what I got from Passed Out on Passion?
What's that?
Black Magic Woman.
Oh hell yeah! See, it is there. I'm not crazy. And yeah, I felt like that one again. This very like unique guitar riffs. I think even in this crazy genre of like noise and math rock, they're able to have these riffs that stand out and grab your attention.
Yeah, it's even though you can argue that again it's very much of the same post-hardcore chaotic style as the other records. This one has way more punkiness, way more hard rockness, and classic rock influence. Like maybe not influences exactly, but stuff that reminds you of it for sure. And the things that I don't think I like quite as much, the interludes here aren't nearly as interesting to me.
Sure,
I think Self-Help is cute, which is like it has these group shouted vocals over this kind of strange guitar loop, which it works. It's different. Nothing on the album sounds like that. It's very interesting. The one song in the entire discography that I don't care for is The Quickest Wit I can think of. It's the only one that I think is obnoxious. The only song in the entire discography I don't care for.
That one's kind of talky, right? Yeah,
it's talky. It's not really a song. It's more of an interlude,
like a spoken word interlude thing.
Spoken word interlude thing with like shouting. Group vocals, talking group vocals. It feels a little bit pretentious to me. I didn't really love the way it came out. It feels very youthful and 90s punky, where it feels kind of ranty and kind of like, all right, enough, buddy. I heard you. That's the only thing I didn't care about it. But even then, it's like it's not that bad, and it's the very end of the whole compilation, so it doesn't really hurt my experience so much.
Yeah. This does have some of their like nastiest, like fastest songs for sure, like Sex in the 60s.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
And
that's
even
stuff.
like the following track, Pedestrian, is just I did kind of skip over before the Desert Burden is Dust Broke Out as, and kind of like they bleed into each other. But yeah, Dust Broke Out as, I think that's like some of my favorite riffs in the whole discography. Even
it even has some Western feel to it
for sure.
When those big giant open hits, and some of the other guitar leads on there are so great. It's a man, yeah, it's still great. This is still a very, very fun ass comp.
Also, the only time they kind of go into that more like darker post like Godspeed stuff is the Great Bust on Antarctica.
Oh right. That one I wasn't at first. I thought I was going to be like, all right, this is the first time we're going to get a dip. I'm actually not going to care for the sounds. Like I don't really love this riff so much, and then fucking turns it around.
Amazing.
Yeah, this band has a way of not sucking. It's crazy. It's, you think, even if the rare occasion you think you might not like something, by the end of it, it's like, yeah, that was pretty fucking great.
Even like the closing track and now walk away. No 4 kids care about you. It's so short and so powerful. Like make it longer.
Yeah. More of the bluesy hard rock,
Yeah.
Southern style riffs, but it feels good as an outro.
Yep. And it's not even.
yeah.
I'm sure it's an outro for like a 7-inch or something, but it works as an outro for the whole comp. Even
It does. Yeah. And then we still have some, like the closest thing we get to generic 90s punk is Never in a Million Years. But even then, it's pulled off so well. There's a giant chunk in the middle that's super great.
I really like that back and forth guitar playing that you were talking about earlier. I can hear it here. I think it's neat there.
It's great. Yeah. The only real downside, aside from the length or the 2 live tracks, because we have both of those songs on this comp already, so it just feels pretty unnecessary. I'm certain it's here just for completion.
Yep.
Which fair enough. But yeah, the only thing bad about this is the length. That's it. It's just a band that serves well in short formats and is usually constructed around short formats. So when you put it all on a 50-minute album compilation, yeah, it's going to feel dragged out.
I mean,
and
yeah,
that's just
and it's not even like meant to be heard like that. These are all
individual.
Yes.
You can actually pinpoint some of the things like where you hear certain sections like, oh, this section is paced really well, as though it stood on its own at some point. It's like it's a compilation of really good little pieces, and it's just that's it. Yeah, it's just long, but
also I've
really good.
I've said it before in the era of like CDs. I'm never gonna knock bands for giving fans their money's worth, and you definitely get your money's worth here.
Absolutely. And that, I guess, brings us to the final album. Which is pretty succinct discography.
Oh man, we're gonna do this under 2 hours. I'm so happy.
Unbelievable. The first episode under 2 hours in years. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hell yes. This is 2011's No Difference.
Back to coming in real hot.
It is funny. This is an angrier. I would say it's an angrier album.
Oop, say it again.
Like an angrier album compared to Capital Cities.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's rad. Lively, energetic, not dark, just not even that angry. It's chaotic and it's presented aggressively, but it's not like an angry song.
Yeah. Something else.
I want to leave it longer, but because there's so many different riffs as it goes on, that song has so many different riffs.
It goes all over the place.
Something else I noticed about them is like some of my favorite sections of the songs are in the back halves, like the final minutes or so are like my favorite sections of a lot of songs. So
oh yeah. A lot of the songs really do have this just growth over time. But so what can I say as a whole about this? Because it's also like 20 minutes. I mean, it's very short. And it's the only drawback I'd say is compared to Capital Cities, there is a much smaller evolution. There's not really much evolution.
Mhm.
It's just sort of it's sort of like a hybrid of the first 2 albums.
It is.
Because it has that snarliness and that energy of the first one, but it also has plenty of the hard hitting post-rocky emotional depth stuff of the second one.
Yeah, like a song like Latchkey is like, I miss songs like that on the comp. Where yeah, there's these lighter riffs and then like the high energy parts that hit extra hard on it.
Totally, like around 45 seconds where it has a double pick guitar. Love it.
Forget about it. And then yeah, Wait Outside, they're still playing still playing fast. They're haven't lost that part.
Oh yeah. And the way they kind of we're talking about the pacing and how well they go into each other, but a lot of the songs just they lead right seamlessly into it. It's like they're playing a set. It feels like they're playing a set. What was it? Room in the Dark. It's an interlude, but it's a very song caliber interlude. And it's super Don Cab sounding. It's very nice.
It is. No Reverse. That's one of those songs where like, man, that bass feels so good. And
easily one of my favorite songs of their whole discography. I adore that song. There's something. It's way simpler. It's very repetitive. Bass line is like the driving force, but then they have these chorusy sections, I guess you can call them, where it's just beautiful guitar interplay. They rein it way in. It's just lovely. Easy highlight.
Yep, and that is one of those ones where the light and dark is equally. I'm not waiting for one section or the other. It's just that song takes you on a great ride.
Great ride. And then what do you need for pacing after a big moving, heavy, slower thing? You need crazy speed, which is what they follow it with Miss A Go.
One of their most like crushing songs, I think. And then I thought it was really funny that it like literally stops and changes.
Yeah.
Like when we say songs change, it's more like an evolutionary thing. This song like literally stops for a second and then they're playing something else.
Becomes a different song. It's fantastic. And how do you follow a super chaotic high energy track like that with a very brief but ambient interlude?
Yep, it lets you breathe.
Perfect pacer. It's like uneventful on its own, but boy is it an effective pacer. I mean, it gives you the breathing room. It's perfect. And then after that, we get Off-White with this fucking downstroked clanging guitars, but still with like some nice clean sections in there. It's just super anthemic and epic as it goes on.
Yeah. Instruction Piece, was that like another interlude one? I don't know how that.
It's a weird song. It's not an interlude, but it kind of seems like one.
Okay.
It's a solo guitar and spoken word for the majority of the track, which is, it's not very long. And then the final 20 seconds, the full band comes in.
Okay.
And then it ends. It's like a song, but it's just a very unorthodox approach to it.
And then I will say the close or Goldwood is one of their ugliest songs, and I mean that complimentary. And
dude, it's such a great closer. Oh.
Around 118, man, I love those riffs.
I love the way it fades out too, because I've never heard, I can't think of a single other song that's faded out this way.
And you're a man who's not a fan. Well, is very specific about his fade outs.
I'm very astute when it comes to fade out. If you fade out too quickly, you sound like a bitch. You can't fade out too quickly. You never fade out too quickly. So, usually when you hear fade outs, they're playing the riff, whatever the riff is. It's a very straightforward approach to fading out. You just lower the volume. This riff doesn't in a million years sound like a riff that you would ever fade out. It's got these stops and these chokes, and it's like this. It's not a riff that it isn't, and there's vocals over it. So when it starts fading out, like they're fading out here, it feels so unexpected and original. I can't even explain it. It's just a riff that you would never expect to fade out, and somehow that makes it perfect. Great stuff, man. Good. God damn.
Yeah. Delightful fucking short discography.
Wonderful. Yeah. And this album, I think, is as good as Capital Cities. I just happen to like that package more for my own taste, but it's just as good.
Yeah. More our speed.
Yeah. This one, the interludes do a really good job on here. That's like, if you want to, if you're a fan of interludes, if that's your criteria, this is the album to check out for them.
Or just study this. Yeah. Any of their albums.
Yeah. So that about does it. As for current stuff, they have it. I mean, the album came out 2011. It's been a while. Tom noted that the band is on Instagram at daniel.stripe.tiger. But their last post was from 2020. Since the band's last release, the various members have been involved in some other projects. John is involved with Dweller on the Threshold, Sweet John Bloom, and Mind's Fall. Jason is also on Dwell on the Threshold, and Sweet John Bloom. And Sean is, you guessed it, Dweller on the Threshold. So Dweller on the Threshold seems to be the band's current.
Yeah.
It's everyone except Dan, I guess. But he's also involved in a bunch of other projects, and also on recently God Dust, who I've not heard of God Dust. But I'm curious about Dweller on the Threshold now, because the overlap for sure, but I don't know where this is taken from. This might be taken from Discogs, but says the 8 musicians on this effort combine obscure illusions charged with meaning by spasms of bleak, ghastly cadences with twisting melodies and dynamic tones. Whatever the fuck that means. You know that, because that explains what they sound like, right?
I don't know. I guess in an abstract way, it does.
That's one thing that it drives me up the fucking wall, because we get a lot of PR, we get a lot of press releases for new records and new whatever, like an abundance of them.
Mm-hmm.
And for stuff that it's so crazy. They say never judge a book by its cover. You can tell so quickly if I'm going to be interested in a band just by the PR photo and the cover of the record. It's so easy. It's so easy. People just look like what they sound like. It's crazy. But I always try to give like a few skim over like the opening paragraphs just to see, like, are they going to say what the band sounds like? And 99% of the time they do not.
They do not.
Press releases are so fucking bloated. Some of them are good. Some of them I like. I like the ones that Monica sends us because they're way more. They're just better done. They're way more straightforward. They're more like honest. Like, they're not fluffing you up, trying to like like pump up this band that no one's ever heard of with all this fancy verbiage that no one gives a fuck about. We don't care about fancy verbiage. What does it sound like? Can you give me a comparison quickly? Please. Now, don't use all these crazy ass adjectives that don't explain what music sounds like. We're care about what it sounds like. I've learned a lot, honestly.
There was one PR release that drove me up a fucking wall. And
why?
This outright lies in it.
Band that we know inside scoop of whether or not it's real or not. Therefore, we know it's not.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That one I think would have pissed me off anyways. But then, because
knowing that it's not true,
it just pissed me off even more.
Yeah. There's so much of, I guess, I don't want to say fake it till you make it kind of stuff, but it's so much of like really trying to hype up something. It's like it feels desperate. It feels super desperate.
That's the word.
Even if it's like from a professional company, because most of them are professional companies, they have their own writers and they're doing this. They're doing the best they can, but we know you're not being honest. I know you're not being honest. I don't know how other publications feel. I know you're not being honest. I know I'm not going to like this. I know it's not that interesting. When something is genuinely interesting, it just bleeds through, and the person writing about it, you can tell they care. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's an interesting world that we live in now. Cause when I talk shit about the internet and how it's just too saturated, that's what I get mad at. It's not that the good artists, quote unquote, are harder to see and there's too much space being taken. It's, we don't have time, and everyone is trying to convince us. And I see this as a guy who would like his music to be heard because I think it's good, but I'm also aware that I can't bullshit anybody. Like, all that shit is it's not going to work. I don't know. I like more transparency. I like more honesty. I like more, everyone thinks their shit is good, but really it's not. No, it's impossible. It's impossible. We're not going to get a bunch of bands like Down Straight Tiger where it's like, oh, everything is great.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. So I don't know what to fucking say. I mean, you just do what you can.
Be real. Like, be real from Cypress Hill.
Everyone just be real. Everyone just be him. But that brings us to the end. Huge thanks to Grayson for suggesting this band to us and now enlightening us, because that's a pleasant surprise. Recap time for both of us.
Best personal favorite, Capital Cities, and then worst least favorite, Certain Stuff, but still an amazing comp.
And that is how I feel as well. So go check them out. They're easy to find, fun stuff. It will take very little of your time because they're very short albums. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, watching, and hanging out. Do the things if you want to hang out with us. Like the stuff, talk some shit in the comments, tell us why we're idiots. But don't do that if you don't want to. I don't care. Just be cool. You can follow me on all social media at PandaMonkey and Alex on Bluesky at
Octatron3030.
and our history guy Tom Osman on at Tom Osman Sounds, all social media. TomOsmanSounds.com for his music and whatever comes next, his podcast where he interviews musicians like these guys. He interviews endless amount of musicians. Find links to that in the description. Link to my EP in the description. Listen to that if you wish. And most importantly, patreon.com/everyalbumever. Just like Grayson, although we aren't accepting any new requests at the moment, you can still get bonus episodes. You can still see our schedules in advance. You can join the Discord, be a part of the community, talk some shit, talk some shop, talk some music. It's fun stuff. Go there, please, and thank you. So that about does it for us. Until next time, see ya.